United States lawmakers have begun to mount pressure on President Joe Biden over concerns about Nigeria's human rights record. Already, a proposed sale of 12 attack aircraft and 28 helicopter engines worth $857 million has been put on hold. Democrats and Republicans on the State Foreign Relations Committee have delayed clearing a proposed sale of 12 AH-1 Cobra attack helicopter and accompanying defense system to the Nigerian military, pausing a deal worth some $875 million, according to U.S. officials and congressional aides familiar with the matter. In addition to the helicopters, the proposed sale included 28 helicopter engine produced by GE Aviation, 14 military-grade aircraft navigation system made by Honeywell, and 2,000 advanced precision kill weapon system, laser-guided rocket munitions, according to information sent by the State Department to Congress and reviewed by Foreign Policy, a US-based magazine. It said the behind the scene controversy over the proposed arms sale illustrated a broader debate among Washington policymakers over how to balance national security with human rights objectives. It said the US on the sale, however, showcased how powerful the US lawmakers wanted to push the Biden administration to rethink the country's relations with Africa's most populous nation and overreacting concern that Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari was drifting towards authoritarianism as his government has been besieged by multiple security challenges, including a jihadist insurgency. Foreign policy observed that Western governments and international human rights organizations had ramped up their criticism of the Nigerian government, particularly in the wake of his ban on Twitter, systemic corruption issues, and the Nigerian military's role in deadly crackdowns on protesters after widespread demonstration against police brutality last year. Chairman of the State Foreign Relations Committee, Senator Bob Menendez, called for a fundamental rethink of the framework of our overall engagement with Nigeria during a Senate hearing with U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken in June. Both Menendez and Senator Jim Risch, the top Republican on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, have therefore placed a hold on the proposed arms sale, according to multiple U.S. officials and congressional aides familiar with the matter who spoke to Foreign Policy on the condition of anonymity. The details on the proposed sale were first sent by the U.S. State Department to Congress in January before then former U.S. Vice President Joe Biden was inaugurated as president, according to officials familiar with the matter. Nigeria has relied on U.S. arms sale in the past to help address multiple security challenges, including the 12-year insurgency by Boko Haram militants in the country's northeast, a spate of high-profile killing for ransom campaigns targeting school children in the country's northwest, and deadly clashes between the country's semi-nomadic herders and farmers fueled by climate change and environmental degradation of the country's arable land. The State Department, it was said, described the US-Nigerian relationship as among the most important in the sub-Saharan Africa and had provided limited funding for various military training and education programs. Some experts said the United States should hit the pause button on major defense sales until it could make a broader assessment of the extent to which corruption and mismanagement hobbled the Nigerian military and whether the military was doing enough to minimize civilian casualties in campaign against Boko Haram and other violent insurrectionists. There doesn't have to be a reason why we don't provide weapons or equipment to the Nigerian military, said Jude Devermont, director of the African program at the Center of Strategic and International Studies, a think tank. Continuing, he added, but it has to be done with an assessment of how it will actually, one, change the direction of the conflict in Nigeria, and two, that they will use it consistent with our laws. In both cases, it's either a question mark or a fail. There's a culture of impunity that exists around abuses by the military, said Aniete Ewang, the Nigerian researcher at Human Rights Watch. Ewang cited the Nigerian military killings of unarmed protesters during the country's massive #EndSARS demonstration against police corruption and brutality last year as well as cases documented by human rights organizations of abuses in military campaign against Boko Haram. I'm sure it's a difficult situation. There are so many conflicts springing up across the country now. The authorities, I presume, are trying to do the best they can to save lives and properties, but this must be done in accordance with human rights standards. You can't throw one out just to be able to achieve the other. Nigerian embassy in Washington did not, however, return a request for comment, foreign policy claimed. In the past, Nigerian military had dismissed reports of human rights abuses by its soldiers as baseless and accused human rights groups of undermining the military's resolve to combat terrorism. But the United States had scrubbed proposed arms sale to Nigeria in the past on a case-by-case basis. Former US President Barack Obama's administration cut back arms sale to Nigeria over concerns about civilian casualties and human rights abuses, including blocking a 2014 sale of Cobra helicopters by Israel to Nigeria. During that time, US officials reportedly voiced concern that Boko Haram had infiltrated the Nigerian military, an accusation that provoked indignation from Nigerian government. These moves severely strained US-Nigeria relationship, with Buhari accusing Obama of having unintentionally aided and abetted extremist group by refusing to expand military cooperation and arms sales. In late 2017, then US President Donald Trump's administration agreed to sell the Nigerian government 12 A-29 Super Tucano warplanes, resurrecting a proposed sale the Obama administration froze after the Nigerian Air Force bombed a refugee camp that January. The first batch of those planes arrived in Nigeria earlier this month. A U.S. State Department spokesman declined to comment on the matter, saying, as a matter of policy, the department does not confirm or comment upon proposed defense sales or transfer until they have been formally notified to Congress. Under the current practice, the State Department informally notifies Congress through the Senate Foreign Relations Committee and House Foreign Affairs Committee (HFAC) of proposed arms sales in advance of a formal notification. If committee members raise concern about the proposed sale, the committee can freeze the sale until they receive satisfactory answers about their concerns from the State Department. Once a proposed arms sale has been formally notified to Congress, Congress has a 30-day window to review the sale, and if it opposes the sale, it will pass a legislation to block it. But if Congress took no action, the sale will move forward. A top Republican on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Rep. Michael McCall, has signed off on the proposed sale of Cobra helicopters to Nigeria, a spokesperson for his command confirmed. The office of the HFAC chairperson, Democratic, Rep. Gregory Meeks, did not respond to multiple requests for comments. The Trump administration, frustrated with how Congress held up proposed arms sales for months, weighed scrubbing the decades-old practice of informally notifying Congress about arms sales, but it faced steep backlash over the idea from lawmakers. A bipartisan group of lawmakers is now looking to further extend congressional oversight over U.S. arms sales to foreign countries. Senator Chris Murphy, a Democrat, Mick Lee, a Republican, and Bernie Sanders, an independent, introduced legislation earlier this month aimed at reassessing Congress' role in foreign policy. The bill included a provision that will require Congress to actively approve all major sales rather than allow arms sales to be automatically approved unless Congress blocks them.